Now, Indonesia is set to host the annual G20 Summit, but what is G20 grouping all about? How does it work and what does it do? Our diplomatic correspondent Sidhant Sibal explains to you from Bali. Listen in.
The G20 Summit, which is scheduled to take place in Bali, will focus on the current challenges that the world faces. They are mostly economic and increasingly political. The world is still reeling from the COVID-19 pandemic. And amidst all of this, the Indonesian island is hosting one of the most strained editions of the G20, or the Group of 20 Nations Summit. Let's take you back to the history of the G20 Summit. The inaugural G20 Finance Minister meeting happened in the German capital Berlin in 1999. India was represented by its then Finance Minister Yashwant Sinha and RBI Governor Bimal Jalan. In the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis, the United States proposed to increase the level of participation of the G20 to heads of state and government, thus marking the formal establishment of G20. The first G20 summit took place in Washington, D.C. in 2008. This was then followed by two summits in 2009, one in London, another in Pittsburgh, and since then the summit has been happening annually.
G20 is one of the most important groupings of the world as leaders chalk out plan to resolve the issues faced by contemporary world. India will be hosting the summit in September of 2023. And already work is under progress with building of state-of-the-art venues in the Indian national capital.
Every year, the G20 host decides the issues that will be prioritized. Like the Indonesian presidency has its motto, "Recover together, recover stronger." The motto was pegged in the aftermath of the COVID pandemic, which still continues to impact the world. The G20 also does not have a permanent secretariat. Its agenda and activities are established by the rotating presidencies in cooperation with the membership. Troika, which consists of the previous presidency, the current year presidency and the upcoming presidency, work to ensure the continuity within the grouping. The Troika countries are currently Italy, Indonesia and India. The G20 members are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, Japan, India, Indonesia, Italy, Mexico, Russia, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Turkey, the United Kingdom, the United States, and the European Union. The rotational presidency also invites the guest countries. This time, 9 countries are invited to participate at the Bali summit, which includes Spain, Fiji, Rwanda, Senegal, Singapore, and Cambodia. Meanwhile, India, under its presidency, has invited Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, Netherlands, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, Spain, and the UAE.
G20 is an initiative aimed at international cooperation and comes at a time when the United Nations looks dysfunctional and represents the world order of 1940s. Whatever happens here in Bali, or for that matter previously in Japan, Saudi Arabia or other G20 summits, impacts the new world order. The grouping has been taking decisions on political and economic matters, matters that impact everyone, whether you are the person on the street in New York or New Delhi. Sidhant Sibal with video journalist Ajit in Bali, Indonesia.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.